So the World Health Organization failed in July to advance this, what they're calling a pandemic protocol. But they're still working hard. It appears they're trying to get it done before there's a change in administration. You've been advancing a measure all year that would require the Senate to treat this as it is, and that is a treaty. Tell us about it and tell us where that effort stands.
So that's correct, Tony. Tedros has said that we will try everything to be able to get this passed. So your characterization is accurate. We've steadily been building support. Myself and Senator Johnson from Wisconsin have introduced this. All Republican senators have signed on to this bill. We started out with about, I think, 14 members in the House. We're now up over 50 members that are now on this bill. That is, we call it the No WHO bill. We should not be allowing the World Health Organization to be able to have decision-making power over the health care of Americans.
Now, Tom, it's comprehensive in its approach, this pandemic agreement, but list the top 3 or 4 items that are most concerning to you as it pertains to this proposed protocol.
Unit 1 is speech, but also it's the resource and technology transfers. They defy the intellectual property rights that we have here in America that are a bedrock of our prosperity. And so it would mandate these transfers that would go to the World Health Organization. And this is a very sly way for the Chinese to be able to acquire that technology without producing it themselves.
No, so they would be, the WHO would be kind of they would be fencing our technology, taking it over to the Chinese Communist Party. You mentioned the speech. Last week, you had the Mark Zuckerberg, the head of Facebook, apologizing in effect for what he allowed the Biden administration to do during the pandemic in terms of censoring the speech of those who were challenging the efforts of the federal government. Under the protocol, that would be required of member states to censor anything that challenged the efforts being put forth by the WHO and member states.
Yeah, that is correct, Tony. And I think you just see this broad censorship regime that is being pushed around the world. I mean, think about it. England is now suppressing speech. You're seeing what's happening in Brazil. And America needs to stand strong in regards to this censorship regime that is out there. I think a true test is coming up for Mark Zuckerberg. He took the first step in doing what I would call a very Musk-like action, saying that, you know, I'm not so sure we're headed in the right direction here in terms of censoring Americans. Is he going to take the next step and stand up against his government, as Elon Musk has done, and say, I will protect free speech in America? That's going to be the next test for Mark Zuckerberg.
Folks, you can weigh in on this, and I'm going to tell you a little bit more about that in a moment, but you can text WHO to 67742. That's WHO to 67742 and help Congressman Tiffany get this bill through the process. Now, the effort here, I'm assuming, based on conversations I've had, that there's going to be an effort to attach this to a must-pass piece of legislation, which would be the CR. Is that what we're looking at this point?
Could be one of the approaches. I think I'm perfectly happy having a standalone approach. Let's find out who stands for the sovereignty of the United States of America and who wants to farm it out to organizations like the corrupt organizations like the World Health Organization. So whether leadership chooses to put that as a standalone bill or attach it to a continuing resolution, I am fine either way. I just think it's great that we have pushed this rock up the hill to the point where we can now get a full vote. And let's have accountability from members of Congress.
I mean, it does sound like a vote is imminent. Is this something you think we'll see in the next 3 weeks?
Yes, I believe we will see this in September. In talking to Majority Leader Scalise, he has made a commitment that this will come up for a vote.
Now, is it going to be on a suspension vote, which would require, obviously, a higher threshold of approval?
Yeah, I'm not sure process at this point, Tony, but I just hope we get it to the floor where we can have the full vote and where majority rules. And that's what I hope that leadership will be doing with this bill.